Hello everyone, welcome. I hope all of you are safe and healthy. We are going to start today with history. So, welcome to your first online history class of grade 7. Okay, so guys, this is the first chapter, sources of history. Before we start today's objective, make sure that you have downloaded the textbook that I sent in our WhatsApp group yesterday evening and read written sources of history from it. Here is a quick introduction of chapter number 1. So, in this module, you will learn about the various types of sources of history and its importance in the construction of history. So, what are the sources of history? Is our first chapter. We already know that history is a chronological, scientific, and systematic account of past events, right? And in the last grade, that means sixth grade, we have learned about ancient history. In grade 7, we are going to learn about medieval history. Okay, so introduction to medieval period. The medieval period is a period between ancient and modern period of history. You can remember it as middle period. That means it was the period between ancient and modern period of history. The medieval period in India starts from 9th century and lasts to 18th century. So medieval period का एज कब तक था 19th century को start हुआ and it lasts up to 18th century. It is divided into two periods: early medieval period from 19th to 13th century and late medieval period from 13th to 18th century. So early medieval period है 9th से 13th century और late है from 13th to 18th. Historical sources of medieval period. Here you can see pictures of coins, temples, you can see sculptures. All these are sources of medieval period, right? Now, sources of history are the foundation to understand a particular era or period of history. They serve as evidence in the construction of history. इसका मतलब it means that historical sources are important to understand a particular era or period of history. All the sources of history act as an evidence in the construction of history. They help us to gain knowledge about important events, cultures, inventions, civilizations, and many other aspects of the society back in time. Let us now see what are the three sources of history. Three sources: written, material, and oral sources. Today we are going to learn about written sources of medieval history. Okay, so written sources are also called literary sources. Written sources का दूसरा नाम है literary sources. So literary sources or written sources are original sources of history in the form of documents or recordings created in the past. So we have learned about significant historical events in the medieval period from sources like writing styles of scripts, जैसे देवनागरी लैंग्वेज में लिखते हैं, अरेबिक में लिखते हैं, पर्शियन में लिखते हैं. All these are written sources of history. Written sources include manuscripts. Manuscripts means uh, जो वो टाइम के लोगों ने मैनुअली लिखा था. Okay, so these all are original documents written by people from that era. Treaties, biographies, paintings, and many more. All these are included in written sources of history. And it also includes uh, religious manuscripts and non-religious manuscripts. Okay, Now let us study what are the importance of written sources of history. So we can gather information about the food, attire, festivals, lifestyles, occupation, rules of conduct of people, and many more. We can also gather information about economical, social, and political aspects of the society. So, with the help of written sources of history, we can know about the food of the period. We can know about the attire, how people used to wear, what people used to wear, and we can know about festivals, lifestyle, occupation, what occupation do they do, farming करते थे कि क्या करते थे. Apart from that, we can also gather information about their economical status, social and political aspects कि लोगों को टैक्स भरना होता था कि नहीं वो टाइम पे, और लोगों को मनी का करेंसी कैसा होता था, कॉइन्स वर मेड अप ऑफ which metal, gold, silver, etc. ठीक है, now we will learn these two important terms, Tawarik and Bakar. So what do you mean by Tawarik? Tawarik or Tariq means the sequence of events, whereas Bakar is a type of chronicle that originated in Maharashtra. Bakar helps to gain knowledge of social, economical, and political condition of the society, whereas Tawarik is useful to know the rules of conduct of people and important events. So Tawarik यानी सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स, मतलब वो इवेंट्स कैसे सीक्वेंस में हुआ था, पहले क्या हुआ था, सेकंड क्या हुआ था, थर्ड क्या हुआ था, दैट इज नोन एज तवारीख और तारीख. Another written source is Bakar. But so the only difference between Tawarik and Bakar is Tawarik में sequence of events बताते थे, not specific to Maharashtra, but Bakar वो महाराष्ट्र में वर्ड दिया गया था, which also tells the story in a sequential manner. But say for example शिवाजी महाराज से related जो story होगा, that story if it is in a sequential manner it will call as Bakar. Whereas emperor अकबर के बारे में जो story होगा in a sequential manner, that story is called as Tawarik or Tariq. Now, uh, both of the sequential stories help us to understand the social, economical, and political conditions of the society. Whereas Tariq also helped us to understand the code of conduct and the important events that happened in that era. With the class, we have completed our today's session. Make sure that you write down the questions first in your notebook and then start writing answers. And submit your answers by 1:30 p.m. today. Thank you so much, class. I know that the audio is not good. In the next video, I will try to improve the audio and make better PPTs for you. Okay? Thank you so much again, class.